199 का टारगेट, ऐसे जैसे मिठाई, जैसे जयदा बोले मिष्टी, जैसे हर्षा भाई बोले चाय चांद बिस्कुट. It really was a walk in the park in the end for Sunrisers Hyderabad. Getting there in style. You respect Rashid the bowler, you just love Rashid the batsman. Finishing it, boom, boom, and it's done with 1 over to spare. Hyderabad getting to 201 for the loss of 5 wickets, winning the game. Of course, contributions all round, so no big 100 like Samson had for Rajasthan, but everybody getting runs, which is what matters to get them to a target of 201. So the first win for Sunrisers Hyderabad this season. Remember, they were runners-up last year. This, of course, is MPL Presents Cricbuzz Live. I am Gaurav Kapur, with me Joy Bhattacharjya and Ajay Jadeja. Well, we said before the chase started that if Sunrisers get to this total, it's going to be one heck of a match. And it was.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean...
You don't seem impressed. Why don't you seem impressed?
I'm shocked.
That's it.
Because I thought, the Royals had a good chance because 199 on board, and they had Shreyas Gopal, who was a spinner, and then they had Katori that we were talking about. So I was looking at the game and thinking, even if it's a very good wicket, flat wicket, 8 overs out of those where the batsman will have to push, it should be really tough. Or the other way around, that it should have been very easy. So neither did it go that way. Neither did they win. Neither did they win by 8 or 7 wickets in hand. So it became, wasn't tight, but at least they lost wickets at the end. So totally a different game from what I've been seeing over the years. But I just loved Rashid Khan, like you said. You think Jofra Archer's over, he's going to bounce it, or, he's going to surprise. But he goes 6 out of 6 Yorkers. It's almost telegramming. First over it worked. Next over Rashid Khan was there. He said, Mia, Sara gosht kha gaye, addi chhod gaye the hamare liye. So he could only show you one.
I love it. So before, there's no secret that I'm a big fan of Rashid Khan, not just the player, but the personality. And when his playing is concerned, as I said, respect the bowler, absolutely. But just love the batsman. He's just so entertaining, Joy. Just love his batting.
Just an amazing... And see, he's a natural... The other thing is because he's such a good bowler, his batting is never under pressure.
Yeah.
Because he knows that he never has to be in the side for his batting. So he enjoys his batting. And players who enjoy their batting tend to do better at it. Yeah. He seemed nerveless under those conditions, which were, you have to face it, conditions did get tight. Once, Manish Pandey got out, it did get a bit tight, and they made it through. Lots and lots of pluses for Hyderabad, and especially in a situation where they're not used to having pluses. Normally what happens in Hyderabad is you have 2 batsmen getting 600-700 runs. Shikhar Dhawan, Warner, these guys. Look at it here. They have Williamson, Warner, Bairstow, all 3 looking really good. Whether they made runs or not, finished it. Vijay Shankar looked brilliant. Okay, and Yusuf Pathan looked fairly competent. That 6 of Jofra Archer would have heartened them a lot. Which means the only sort of spot in their batting which they're a bit worried about now is Manish Pandey.
Yeah.
So, suddenly the bowling unit is always the thing in SRH that we talk about. Suddenly we are talking about the batting unit, and this is a darned good batting unit.
Yeah, and you see Manish Pandey, by reputation, of course, and by experience, deserves to be there. But, as you know, with IPL teams, they take no prisoners, right? No reputation is big enough. Nobody's indispensable. So if you were to look at replacements for Manish Pandey, you have a Deepak Hooda, a Ricky Bhoi, you've got guys in form, young guys, hard hitters, who are there. So it's not like Sunrisers Hyderabad, Abhishek Sharma, who did so well for Delhi last year. You've got plenty of options. So Manish Pandey, of course, another couple of games should play. He's a big name, former India player. But he could start feeling the pressure and the pinch.
Yeah, I agree with you. It'd probably take a couple of games at least you look at. He's a player who's, done well for India. But I agree with Joyda and you because it looks that, something's missing.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the dismissal today, who's he got out to? He's not picked a googly, which is fine, it can happen. But not to a guy that you play day in and day out with. Yes. He's a guy from the same team. So you play enough of him in the net. And when you play with each other, you know roughly what's happening. So it also shows that, because your teammate also knows that you are not in form. Yeah. You were thinking or you were worried. So when he got out to him and, totally beaten by that googly, it just gives you that. But it is tough to leave out somebody who's been playing for India and at the start of the game, start of the season. In spite of you, if you'd not won any game, 3 games, 4 games down the line, then maybe I'd think. But at the moment, I don't think Manish Pandey would be somebody they'd be thinking to leave out.
Also, SRH is the kind of team who will carry him for 3-4 games and say, we'll play you into form. That's the way they normally do.
Yeah.
They stick to their side. They back because if you had to leave out somebody, say Yusuf or Deepak Hooda, normally most people would look at it and say maybe looking at form and numbers, you would have left out Yusuf. Yeah. So it tells you how this team thinks. Yeah. That they probably go with people who've been around longer. They go with experience.
Experience in tight situations.
I think they value experience a lot more than just form.
Or it could just be how, in gully cricket, the older guys always said, "You're young, your chance will come." Right now it is my turn, because then I'm going to go into college and I will leave the colony. So then I won't get a chance to bat. You are in class 8, you will get a chance next year. Okay, well, let's talk about the openers as well, of course. Bairstow and Warner. Warner looked like a man on a mission. He is on a mission, isn't he? Coming back to cricket after 1 year. A lot of frustration, I guess, to take care of. A lot of points to prove. A lot of thinking he must have done. Wants to get back. And Joy, he's hit the ground running, hasn't he?
Yeah, and it's so interesting just in the same match, on the same ground, to see two such different assaults. The Sanju Samson assault, which is all silken grace and touch and timing. And this man just brutalizes the ball,
Yeah.
You feel really sorry for the ball, how hard he hits it, how the way he hits it, and just a completely different player altogether. Point to prove, but also very importantly for them, Bairstow's got a taste of Indian conditions. He seems to like it. He's a strong, powerful man himself. So
their second consecutive century opening stand for SRH. Got it in Kolkata, got it here. I don't think it's happened before in the IPL. For 2 consecutive century stands for your openers, and that's just fine. That just sets it up. I mean, you're getting...
and the pace at which they went.
Yeah.
I mean, you see that partnership.
69-run power play.
No, I think the partnership is 58 balls. I just saw that 110, which is 10 overs, 110. You would associate that with maybe a partnership that comes good, but towards the end of the innings. So if you get a start like this without losing a wicket from the top, you get to a stage where it's 10 overs, 110. 199 is no total that you're not worried about. It just set the game up, and I think not just the game, I think it set the tournament up, because normally when you look at SRH, you play against them differently. Now, what are you going to do? It's not just Warner, you got Bairstow, and if you get past Bairstow, then you got Captain.
You always call him Bairstow. You're obviously hungry. You keep calling Bairstow Bairstow. You did this last night as well. Yeah, though I like Bairstow.
Bairstow? Is that
Bairstow?
Bairstow.
Johnny.
I think Johnny is a good one.
Johnny.
So Johnny still hasn't fired. Yeah. Johnny is the guy actually everybody's worried about.
Yeah.
And Warner, everybody thought is going to come in and is going to take his little time or settle in. He hasn't played cricket for a while. So the opposition is now going to wonder what to do, because both of them start getting after you, what's going to happen?
Yeah, because Warner's clearly been, what Ajay means by that is that Warner has been the dominating partner, and Bairstow, or Johnny, as we're going to call him now. Johnny's got enough tricks in his book to be the dominating partner himself. So they both start attacking together from either side. So bachna hai hasino, lo mein aa gaya.
And just don't forget, Vijay Shankar's 35 or 15 was extremely impressive.
Yes.
Kane Williamson looked in touch.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. This entire batting lineup is looking extremely potent. And if SRH's bowling can come even 80%, 90% close to their bowling last year, with this batting, they've done a mega improvement in batting.
You know what they're saying? I'll tell you what the SRH bowlers are saying. They're telling the batsmen, see, last year we did, this year you do. Please, half. Share the load.
You have to share the load. Last year it was all on them.
Yeah.
But if the batting comes good, then even if the bowling comes down, if the software is not working as well as it was last year, they'll still manage. And I think Williamson coming in makes a big difference as a captain. Because they went for plenty today, but the way Rashid was used today was totally different from the last game.
Yeah.
They still didn't have a good day as bowling side, but at least the approach and the way it is looking at. Anybody who's watched SRH will figure this out, that Rashid has 4 overs. He's brought in when they are in trouble. So today, first 3 good overs, Butler's going to go after somebody. That's when Rashid comes in.
Yeah.
Then he goes off and then he lets everybody else play the game, and then the opposition has a partnership. Then they brought him in. Today it didn't work because, he was also sorted out. So he's kept back again. Then when the striker comes in, or, somebody from the other end comes in. So those 4 overs are used so beautifully. And Rashid, you're a fan, but he has a big heart.
Yeah.
He doesn't get flustered. He keeps getting after after you, and he's always looking for wickets. And 1 wicket means you come back into the game.
So,
And-
sorry, carry on.
No, I forgot.
He's back into the game. Yeah, it's basically
he's back into
the way
the
he's
team's
using
back
the way
into
he's
the-
using Rashid
The
Khan.
way he's using the Williamson, I just love his captaincy.
So basically, Williamson has watched Mahabharat like we used to watch on Doordarshan because he's using Rashid Khan as his Brahmastra. Like, just release it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of young people who are going, Brahmastra, Mahabharat, Doordarshan. What are these terms that he's using? What are these terms? Giving away our vintage. Yes, we are. Vintage knock today from David Warner. And that's why David Warner is our MPL hero of the match. 69 of 37. As Joy and Ajay was saying, he was bludgeoning the ball today. Really was to all parts. I mean, a strike rate of almost 200. So he's the MPL hero of the match. And we also have our MPL super team hero. Of course, we have the contest going and we have lots of people taking part. And the person with the most points is Rishu Kumar Madhesia with 300 points. Well done, Rishu. Well, super stuff and congratulations to you. So, well, that's it. So, Sunrisers Hyderabad are off to the races. They have won 2 points, which means Rajasthan Royals now have played 2 games and not with a win. So, there they are at the bottom with RCB. And, well, you see both the teams at the bottom are both going to say, we both should have had 1 win each if it wasn't for the line, if it wasn't for that popping crease.
Oh,
And then come back to the line. We come back to the line.
Yeah, actually that's true. Well, both could have won.
Yeah.
And Rajasthan must be thinking, what do we need to do? I mean,
Yeah.
we got 199 and we
Yeah.
couldn't defend it. First game they got, they were chasing, what was it, 180? And
185,
and they had a great start. Still couldn't chase it. So I think Rajasthan probably has lots of worries this year.
Yeah. Ajay is also-
Captain's going to change there. Captain's going to change
You
there.
think the captain's going to change?
Yeah, has to. If it's an ethical move, then you wouldn't have had Smith in your side. But if you have him playing, then might as well use him. Optimizing of the players' potential.
So is absolutely right. Ajay is very upset with these 2 teams at the bottom. Why? Because both have Royal in their name, and he's a Royal also. So
This is
the
basically
Royals are not liking it.
bring back the Privy Purse kind of thing. What happened in 71? It was all a mistake. It's all downhill after that.
Well, we have been privy to some amazing cricket today. Lots of runs. Did we have a look at the bowling card? Let's have a look at the bowling card for the Rajasthan Royals because going forward, and Ajay pointed this out in the mid-show, he's like Rajasthan doesn't have the kind of bowling that will send shivers down any, batting team's spine.
Look, they lost the game, but look at my 2 bowlers that I picked for today.
Yeah.
They looked the best at the end of the day, and I'm not a big stats
You
person.
did say Shreyas Gopal? Yes, you did.
Because the big ground, big total, somebody who bowls slower has a better chance. But by the time these guys came on to bowl, Warner had finished the game.
Exactly. By the time
Yeah.
Jadeja was putting out the crockery and his katori for his tea party, the party was over.
Party was over. The sheet was pulled off.
Yeah. The food was finished.
I also want to tell you one more thing about David Warner's 69, and I don't know how it's relevant, but the number 69 is banned from the New Zealand cricket team.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Why?
I have a few guesses why, but maybe this is a family show, so I will not talk about it. But the number 69 is banned, but I think Grandhome was very upset that he couldn't use 69 there, so I think he's using it while playing for RCB. But it's allowed in the IPL. I just want you to know 69 is allowed in the IPL.
Okay.
I thought 13 was unlucky.
I have...
One second, 13 is...
69 is
yesterday I
unlucky?
saw somebody wearing 13. Quinton de Kock wears 13.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Quinton de Kock wears 13.
thought
For Australia...
87
Oh,
is
87.
It is
Unlucky
13
for
away from
Australia.
100. It's 13 away.
I don't know. Once I think I had 69 on my shirt. So
You did?
yeah, it's unlucky. Maybe that.
I don't think unlucky might be the reason under the circumstances.
I wanted to go silent because I was loving the thing. They normally they want me to rescue them from the situation. But when you've created the situation, you must rescue yourselves from it. I am not here to clean your mess always. Just on some days, not on Fridays. That is my off day from mess cleaning. But yes, today, as you can tell, we've had a few on this show. A few things we've said, not sure. Though today,
Friday night.
So Friday night, and today the bowlers from both sides are going to be having a few because they're going to be going 10 and over every time. In Hyderabad, this is not a ground where so many runs go. This is the highest chase apparently by SRH on this ground. Yeah. The highest successful chase. So
Pretty different wicket as well.
It could be.
So over the years, if people have been watching, this wicket looks much better. It's come on to the bat nicely. in both the innings. It wasn't and no dew.
And it didn't slow down.
So maybe
like
surfaces change again. Change the mindset. No more 150, 60s when we play in Bangalore. We got to in Hyderabad. We got to start thinking 180, 190, 200.
We actually, that's what Ajinkya Rahane said after the game as well. He said we really thought this 150 would be a good total. Which again I feel is a little strange from the Royals think tank, because this is the first game happening at the stadium. You've just judged it by, its previous standards. It's fine for us. We have no skin in the game, right? We can judge it from what numbers we have. But you're out there, you have to play. You've seen the pitch, you're playing.
Yeah, and in fact, if the pitch becomes like this and it's a good pitch, in fact, it becomes more difficult to defend on a ground which is big ground.
Exactly.
Because if you see the number, last night we had a 200 game and today, people in stats can go and see there'll be more doubles here. There is, you get so every single actually has a chance to get a double. 4 and 6s are the same, but you run more, the gaps are wider, bigger. So defending, if the wicket is flatter, will get more difficult here than probably in Mumbai and in Bangalore.
There's also another very interesting thing. I was thinking about it, that the great thing about Dhoni as a captain is that he's absolutely has no problem in saying he doesn't know.
Yeah.
So he comes to a ground and he said, why do you want to do it? He said, look, I don't know the ground. I will field first. He does not pretend to know the ground, did not pretend any knowledge. He says it's the first game, nobody knows well. And I think that's really a clarity of thought in a lot of people. Because here, you've seen a lot of captains in the last 3-4 days saying this looks like a 170, 180 pitch. Dhoni goes to a new pitch, looks at it and says, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
No, any pitch. He makes you feel that, he has no clue. But he knows exactly what's happening.
He knows exactly what's happening.
Exactly.
He knows, but he doesn't say it. With Dhoni, you think you see all the cards, but no. Just when you think the cards are over, they come out from his sleeve. Just when you think the sleeves are over, there are more sleeves at the back of the shirt. You have no idea where the cards are coming from. All right, well, that wraps up today's game. Tomorrow's game. Not 1, but 2. It's double trouble because it's Super Saturday. What are the 2 games tomorrow? There's some repercussions of the games tomorrow because you have Punjab playing Mumbai in Mohali. So you have the Mumbai Indians travelling there. Then you have Delhi and Kolkata. This is happening at the Firozshah Kotla. So it's rare for Delhi to have 2 games back-to-back at home early in the season, because normally their games happen late in the season. Kolkata definitely carrying confidence, joy into this game from their previous one. They're thinking, we can chase anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the big plus for them is how Nitish Rana has batted, because Nitish Rana and Robin Uttappa, we all thought that Kolkata would get explosive starts and explosive finishers. But what's been the real plus for them is that Robin has looked like the Robin of 2014. Ominous form he's looked in. It's one is a question of the runs he's made, but also the way he's batted, and Nitish Rana. So that means that unit is even looking bigger and better. And Shubham Gill, who everyone thinks is a prospect, really hasn't got that much of a chance to play. So it's looking like a phenomenal batting lineup. The bowling is not looking that great. Again, Prasidh Krishna has a bit of a weakness, but they'll always be a competent bowling side because they are smartly managed. People like, Piyush Chawla and all are very smart bowlers. They're not great bowlers. But Piyush Chawla is what, 125, 130 IPL wickets? He's fantastic.
I said that the other day. I think he's one of the most underrated player in the IPL.
Yeah.
He's played such an important role no matter what team he's playing for. He bowls at different times. He's one of those smart guys. He's like Rashid. How you use him will depend. I think when the Knight Riders use him differently, they probably use him more towards the slog of the game. Or, he comes on after 8-10 overs, bowls 1 over in the power play and then comes very late. So he's used differently, but he's very smart. Only thing that I look at in that game is from Knight Riders' point of view, that you won 2 games. You've done exceptionally well, but it has taken superhuman effort. So when that keeps happening, then, sometimes team get into that rut and expect him to do it every time. But Nitish Rana, like he said, he's been a total revelation this year. Yeah. He did well last year. He scored runs, but not at this pace and not so important innings.
So therefore, when you look at their team, do you think they'll make any changes?
What was the team last time? You go to Delhi, what would you do? You got 3 spinners in there. Sunil Narayan, Kuldeep and Piyush Chawla. Delhi also would want that.
Actually, Delhi, the plus of Kolkata is also their weakness. Look at that second unit. There's nobody there who you really like replacing anyone there in the 11. You look down that lineup, you say, no, this guy's sitting in the bench, I need to have him inside. Not really.
There's no shoe in there for sure.
Sitting there saying that, wow, we must give this guy a chance. So I think they're very much. I think they're very dependent on their first 11, but they have a very strong first 11. Barring their fast bowling, their Indian fast bowling, I think they're a very strong first 11.
Yeah, and we talked of all of them. If you see, look, only 2 games.
Yeah.
And I talked about Russell, but each one of them in that side, except Prasidh Krishna, probably has had an impactful game.
Yeah.
Yes, Lynn hasn't had, but you know what Lynn can do.
Yeah.
So everybody is a useful player in there. I can't find one of those Mandeep Singh or Tirpati. Oh, today's game, Tirpati didn't even bat.
Yeah.
Again, so in that side of Knight Riders, I don't see anyone who's not going to be used every game. So
Yeah.
pretty solid
Fair
side.
point. It's a good
Why would you
11.
change? They don't change much, do they?
Good 11.
Delhi, no, not at all. I think Delhi, this is a crucial big game.
Yeah.
Because you see, they've had that big win. We've come back. We are now no longer, the Daredevils. We are the Capitals. We are a new team, new unit. They've won it. And then they've had a dispiriting loss. I mean, it's not been an easy loss for them to take on their home ground with CSK. So this is the match where you see how the character is, how the team have they taken it well, have they taken it badly? Have they now moved past that? Because once you have a couple of losses, then, immediately, pressure comes to this thing. Then the old ghosts coming back, So I think this is a very important match. It's a far more important match for Delhi than it is
Then it is to Kolkata. There's one change definitely. Chris Morris is available. Saw him with the Delhi team, so he's obviously there. So you'd say he comes in for Kemo Paul.
Kemo Paul goes back to being a good dish.
Yeah, Kemo Paul was basically a placeholder, right, at the dining table there for Chris Morris. So he comes in. Remember that last time they played only 3 foreigners, which means 3 Indian spinners. One of them could make way for Sandeep Lamichhane.
I definitely think they should. He's a class act, and there's no reason not to play him. And I think he really adds.
Which of the 3 Indian spinners? Is it Mishra, Tewatia or Akshar Patel who makes a place for Sandeep Lamichhane?
Oh, out of those, let's see, who would they leave out? Probably Tewatia, because Akshar Patel is a experienced player. Mishra did pretty well, although they didn't play him in that first game. But I would agree with you. You got to bring him in, especially for Knight Riders. I keep saying you got to have a person or a kind of bowler for Andre Russell's, that period of time.
Who is that bowler for you?
And somebody needs to have a word with Prithvi Shaw as well. It's fine to just go there, have that license. But if you get to 20, then make the most of it.
Yeah.
You don't want to throw it away.
But I have
because on the other side, Ricky Ponting said to Shikhar Dhawan.
He said we would like to have had him score faster.
So I'm saying so then he can't have a word with Prithvi Shaw and tell him to slow down as well.
Yeah.
So if you are telling each one how to play, then
so by the way, there was also Shikhar also was struggling with his ankle a bit that day, which we found out later. So there was I think while they were warming up playing football, our cricket team just got to stop playing football. Just please stop playing football. And something happened with the ankle, so it wasn't injured, but it felt a little.
Are you trying to say that kids should stop playing football?
No, if you're a cricketer, don't play. If you're a footballer, play football. Footballers are not warming up playing cricket.
It's a sport. You can't stop playing a sport because you get injured.
I'm saying cricketers should stop playing football because then you get injured in your warm-up playing a game that you're not used to playing. You see, if you're not grown up playing football, it can be tricky. Remember, Rohit Sharma missed his test debut by 4 years because they were playing football and something happened and he twisted his ankle.
Yeah, I know. Okay, we'll leave this debate for some other day.
No. Cricketers don't need to play football to warm up. Warm up, kasrat. 1, 2, PT, 1, 2, 3.
Yoga. Surya Namaskar.
Surya Namaskar karo. Surya Kumar Yadav Namaskar karo.
You'll never get injured. You'll only get fitter.
Exactly. Do that. Sorry, so we were talking about, you wanted to say something about Prithvi
Same
Shaw.
thing about Shikhar Dhawan.
Right.
While Prithvi has to slow down, definitely Shikhar. Something's happening there, they need to just sort it out. I mean, whatever it is, Shikhar is a very good batsman, but he was definitely playing as if the weight of the extra money on his back, on his account was hurting. In the sense that he moved to SRH, from SRH because, he didn't get the contract he wanted. They couldn't afford to offer it under circumstances.
Yeah.
He came to Delhi for that reason. Now for this is important for him. It has to work out. And I feel that he's feeling that pressure right now. He's feeling the need to have 50s and 60s and what we call safe 50s and 60s, And
Really,
I think
I genuinely thought that day he was just finding it tough to score, and a lot of people were finding it kind of tough to score. It was not that.
could be. I hope so. I certainly hope so because he's a great player when he sees the ball and when he plays, this thing cricket, open cricket, free cricket. He's a great player.
Yeah.
And I mean, while Prithvi Shaw, as I said, could probably be told to look at his shot selection a bit. definitely seeing a free Shikhar Dhawan would be very useful.
Yeah, well, they've had two batting efforts that were in stark contrast to each other. So what do you know? You never know. They might just keep the bowling as is. I mean, get Chris Morris in for Chemo Paul and decide the fourth foreigner is going to be Colin Munro up top. I don't know. I'm just throwing something out. Yeah. Just something left field I'm throwing out. Never know. He's the number 2 T20 batsman in the world. He's sitting on the bench. So just like we were saying, KKR, there's no player on the bench where you go, holy, he should be playing. There's plenty
DC.
for Delhi.
Plenty for Delhi because, last year it was a plain slate. So you're starting off and these are good players sitting outside. Whereas KKR is the other way around. They had a decent year last year, not a great one, not a bad one. So there aren't places and you think of people with success.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Well, there's two games, of course. The next one is Kings 11 Punjab playing the Mumbai Indians. Now, this is happening at Mohali. Of course, Mumbai Indians had that game yesterday with RCB, the one that didn't finish, but still playing the next game, of course. It's not their fault.
So, Lasith Malinga is bowling 4.1 overs in this match, I believe.
Yeah, he has one extra ball to... पिछली बार का काम नहीं खत्म किया था एक. But so they're off a win and they'll be excited about that because yesterday's win was also, I joke about that last ball and that no ball, but that's done. It's done and dusted. They will feel happy with that win because it felt for a large part when AB was going that it's not going to be a win for them. So to pull it out with that great effort in the last 3-4 overs by Bumrah and Malinga, they'll be buoyed with that.
Oh, 100%. And especially after the season that they had last year. Every game that got close, the first 5, they lost off the last ball.
The other way,
So it went the other way. And they didn't qualify. And they always believe that they either win or don't qualify. Win or don't qualify. So that one little ball could actually ignite the whole team and bring that whole belief. And that's important. And that is important because every game is going to get close. This is a 2020. Very few games, just taper away at over number 13, 14. They go close. So if you keep believing that you can win from any situation, that's an ideal situation for a team to be in at the start of the tournament for sure.
So both teams are coming off a no-ball scandal because if you remember Kings 11, keep 4 fielders in the ring when you have to, right? Because you let Andre Russell go otherwise, and then he can destroy you. So for one, it worked. That's the Mumbai Indians. For one, it went against them. That's Kings 11 Punjab. Let's have a look at the teams. You can pull up any team that you want. Go for it. Surprise me. All right, it's the Mumbai Indians.
I think just Mayank Markanday coming back into the first 11 was a huge difference. We were all very puzzled why he didn't play the first game. It was good to see him back. It looks a far more balanced squad with him out there. And really, if you see this squad, there's no obvious change that you're going to see out here, which can be made. But
Ajay thinks so. Ajay thinks there's a change.
No, I think because of simple
Mumbai
reason.
thinks.
No, not because of Mumbai things. And Quinton de Kock is fabulous to watch when he gets going. He does it once in 7-8 times, but he's taking too much risk every time. So it's 20s and 30s. For an overseas player, I want a solid overseas player. That's the way I see it.
Or otherwise Surya.
Or if you don't have, Surya, because if you don't have somebody, you're moving Surya out of there for somebody who's not, you've already seen 2 games. Great starts, 18 of 20 or 20
so who
of...
have you seen?
So I'm saying even Evan Lewis, I don't mind him. I don't mind somebody who gets out, but I mind somebody who, when he's going at that strike rate, and it's not even like 20 balls, 60 he gets 20 balls, 30 or 30 balls, 45, which is normal in today's day and age. But even while that is going on, there is too much risk being taken. So that's the way I see it. You can add another.
There's a lot of flatter to deceive happening over there, is what you're saying, right? There's a lot of.
I wish I had vocabulary like yours. I could explain it, brother. That's why I'd be rather. That's exactly. What? Can you repeat that, please?
Flatter to deceive.
Absolutely.
But I have one point out here.
Yes.
Is that remember they traded for de Kock.
Yeah.
They traded.
You made one mistake doesn't mean make another one.
No, but that's what I'm saying. They are emotionally invested in him. And I can't see him going out, right or wrong. I'm not even debating.
I'm with you.
I don't see him moving out for at least 3-4 games at least. I mean, they will give him a 3-4 game run before they do anything. And Evan Lewis, remember, was their great hope last year, which didn't work out. Evan Lewis.
No, or Ishan Kishan, I'm saying Surya Kumar Yadav. So then you can bring in somebody else. The other one that I feel, and because this is one of my favorite teams since Tendulkar played for this team, so I think of this team differently. Even Pollard, I think if I had a choice between Pollard and Ben Cutting to play, I would play Ben Cutting. But it's a man-to-man, not got to do anything.
No, I agree. It's a straight swap and it makes
I
sense.
would do that, but like you said, there is an emotional aspect of Pollard with this team. They've had great success, and it's.
I mean, cutting balls, and Pollard has stopped bowling. So, cutting balls, he hits the long ball himself.
He hits the longest ball of all. You go and ask the players. They say that when they sit for the nets and all that, the longest ball Cutting hits.
Yeah, it's really.
He hits it long, and what happens is with old players, old not by age, I mean, somebody who's been around and has had success.
Purane.
Purane. The opposition also reads you so much. And if you are a player who has a couple of shots, and very dangerous player, Pollard, on his day he would destroy people. But there are places where he hits. So, as over a period of time, teams also figure out where he's playing. With new strikers, what happens is by the time people realize you win a couple of games here and there, like if I asked you, where would you bowl to Cutting? It will take you 5 minutes to think.
Yeah.
Where if I say, where do you not bowl to Pollard, you'll know exactly what not to bowl.
Yeah.
So,
fair point.
So you got to keep rotating. Don't get emotional with players. This is a 20-20 over game. You got to keep surprising, bring in something new. Change a little bit all the time. Keep changing beach walon ke saath.
Yeah, well, one one captain who doesn't have a problem with emotions because he's absolutely spot on with everything. It's all got to be correct and it's always logic over emotion. Is Ravichandran Ashwin, and he of course is leading Kings 11 Punjab. This is their team in the last game. Would you change anything in here?
I think they need that sixth bowler. I really feel that they're struggling with five bowlers and. Varun Chakravarti, that experiment didn't work out. Do they give it again?
Mujib was injured in the last game.
Mujib was injured in the last game. If you can't bring him in, I would definitely be tempted to at least look at Moises Henriques because he gives me then a batting option as well.
Yeah, were you surprised that they played Haris Vijuan instead of, I'll try to say it again, Haris Vijuan?
He looked good. I mean, I hadn't
as
seen
a bowler, he didn't look bad.
Yeah, as a bowler, I mean, not as a batsman. He looked really good. What surprised me was how David Miller played. Because David Miller is also one of those players like yesterday, yes, you had AB de Villiers going till the end and not winning a game. Miller is also that kind of a player. But on the last game, he got to about 60 and, you were nowhere close to the game.
Yeah.
So maybe you put too much pressure on him over the last couple of years or whatever. But that was a surprising way how he approached the game. That tells me the mindset of that team because you're making too many changes. Last year, you made many changes. You changed the... I mean, you didn't change last year.
They got a new captain last year, but now they've changed the coach this year.
So I think that tells you the mindset of players as well.
Yes.
An only player in that side was Mandeep Singh, like I said. Nothing against him, great player, but at the top of the innings.
Yeah.
Not in the middle. Yes, stats are showing you even the other day, 10 balls, 20, 200 strike rate, batting at number 6. But you lost by 35 runs. Yeah. So it is not just the numbers. At 6, he is not as useful. You can find somebody who would be useful at that 6.
In fact,
and bowler, like you said.
Simran is also there.
Yeah, Simran is there. You're right. Well, okay, so will they make any changes here? Both these teams, see, with Kings 11 Punjab and the Mumbai Indians, with both of them, you just never know what to expect because anything is possible and anything will be possible tomorrow. But right now, the only thing impossible on our show is cracking the joy factor question. But let's see if someone made that impossible into possible. Over to you, Professor Bhattacharjya.
Thank you. And this wasn't... A lot of guys got it, and the answers started flowing in the first 5-10 minutes.
And you said he's a current player.
So 2 of these guys are Garfield Sobers and Bob Simpson. The third is an Indian. It's Karun Nair.
Current Nair.
So 3 of them have all scored Test triple centuries, but their first Test century was a 100. That's the record.
Wow. But the other 2 went on to play later, right?
Yeah, but
this poor guy has been dropped within the 6 months of his Test career.
But think about it.
And now he's dropped from the IPL team. Something's going wrong.
Something's going wrong. But I mean, they still rate him very highly. Let's see. I hope he turns around. He's a very talented batsman.
He's got a 100 in Test match.
100. He's like, I'll give you a century with 200% extra.
I mean,
extra. Shampoo ki bottle pe you get 20% extra and you feel so happy. Karun has given you 200% extra.
Correct. Even Amazon doesn't give deals. Flipkart doesn't give deals.
That's right. And then you've dropped him.
Did he bat at 4? Number 4, I thought we were looking.
Number 4 for India is that chair which is in front of Shakal. Sit on it. Button is pressed and that's it. You're
I
down
think
and you're swimming with the sharks.
going by the tweets today, I think going by the tweets today, we have added another 3 candidates to number 4.
I think we have an 11.
Sanju Samson,
Okay, so Sanju Samson at 4.
Ajinkya Rahane.
Ajinkya Rahane.
Well, he opened today.
Yeah, but he played well.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, let anybody play for a while before you decide whether it's good or bad. Or when you select, you decide without, seeing whether he's good or bad. And once you've selected, stick with the guy. Because you've selected, nobody else selected him.
Yeah, that's the thing. Soon we're going to have a complete 11 of number 4s. So they could maybe play along with the Indian team in a Challenger series. Okay, who's the winner of Joy Factor? Who got Karun Nair incorrect the first time? Let's go. Costa Pathak.
Oh,
We know Costa.
Yeah, Costa.
We know Costa. He's another one of those regular cricket nerds.
Costa has won it about 5 times, 7 times.
Isn't Costa the one who took the red table to Buckingham Palace?
Yes.
He took the red table and clicked a picture in front of Buckingham Palace. Well done, Costa. Thank you. Which is why we're not sending you any more red tables because the Queen has complained. She looked out of the window and said, who's this strange guy with miniature furniture? So therefore, we're not sending you any more. Sorry, man, but congratulations. Fair enough. Must respect the Queen. All right. Must respect time as well because... Wow, Bibi maregi, chale. All right, it's time for us to go. We're going to see, of course, tomorrow, earlier, there's 2 games. So 3:30, you'll have MPL presents Cricbuzz Live, English and Hindi. See, we are talking about giving extra. Tomorrow also you're getting extra. 2 for the price of 1. No, we'll all get paid for both.
Achha?
Yeah. It's not like we have to do it with English people will get paid, Hindi do for free. Oh, no. We'll be there. Ajay, you'll be there in Hindi tomorrow.
Hindi, I'll be comfortable
And Virender
there.
Sehwag is there.
Oh, yes.
And Viru.
Viru's there. It's great fun.
And trust me, Viru
Viru will have
for 5 days.
It's been a week. He's been away for a week.
And an eventful week.
Oh. and he'll certainly have something to say about these line calls.
He'll have a lot to say about
Actually,
this.
the first question should be, because he was the coach of that team. They must have talked about this last
Sir, he was not just the coach of this team, he was also Ashwin's captain when it happened against Sri Lanka. When Ashwin did it against Sri Lanka.
And he had...
Viru was the captain who called the player back.
He
drew the call. I've forgotten who the player was.
Lahiru.
I know Lahiru.
Thirumanne.
Like Johnny, Lahiru.
Thirumanne.
Thirumanne is easy for me.
Thirumanne.
This is English names that I struggle with.
Bistro. Okay, we're going to try and find if a bistro is open. It's time for us to go, of course. A big thank you to Mr. Joy Bhattacharjya. Thank you, Mr. Ajay Jadeja.
Always a pleasure, sir.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm Gaurav Kapur, and on behalf of our entire crew here who are now shouting in my ear saying, last order at the bar, please wrap it up. It is goodbye from MPL Presents Cricbuzz Live. Ajit! Gari nikalo bistro jayenge.